and welcome to the Galactic Update. I'm your host Danielle, and this is John Henry. We're going to tell you about the new comics this week, and John's going to start us off.
Alright, so first, number 2 with the Dr. Manhattan Before Watchmen series. It's quite good. The inner monologue of the good doctor is captured quite well, which is one thing I was going to be skeptical about.
He's super smart. It's like poetry, I bet.
Yes, but it's very in tune with the original book, and the story follows what had happened in the Cold War if Dr. Manhattan had not had his accident and not, if he had gotten his watch and walked out of the intrinsic field capsule chamber thing and not become awesome. And Nixon gets elected to a third term. That's the only spoiler I'll give you.
You can do another one. You got more than me.
Alright. Next. This month is the beginning of Death of the Family. It's a huge story arc that is spanning all the Batman books. It's not going to end until February. It's going to be at least 20 issues. In Batgirl is the prelude. Mrs. Gordon might be kidnapped, maybe. And it actually officially starts in Batman number 13. And the Joker comes back and infiltrates the police station and goes after the mayor. And doesn't have a face. It's extremely rad. It's just so good to see the Joker. The greatest comic book villain of all time.
Alright, well, another something that's super, super rad is MacGyver. I've been waiting for this for months, because I grew up on it as a kid, and I always thought my dad was like MacGyver. This comic has everything you expect. It's not a letdown. It's got like 3 awesome MacGyver moves, that one of them involves a jelly bean bomb. Spoiler alert, but there's like a bunch of other stuff that's in there too. And so this is great. You gotta pick this up if you used to be a MacGyver fan, because it's so fun to reminisce.
Go again.
Okay. Also, I wanted to talk about Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, because I'm on the Rot World train, everybody. So we got Animal Man, Swamp Thing, and now Frankenstein, and they're all involved. It makes sense with Frankenstein. At first I was like, why him? Because his comic book sales aren't that great. And then it's like, because he is the contradiction of Rot. He's like the mixed up zombie guy who doesn't decay, and he might be the only one to save them all. But I'm also really excited because Swamp Thing still kicks ass with the green, and then we got Animal Man with the red, and this is my first time really getting into some crossovers, and I gotta say it's really exciting.
Alright, next. Uncanny Avengers number 1. Probably a big deal. Maybe you should buy it. It has 1 billion variant covers. Buy as many as possible.
I actually thought this was called Marvel Now. That's how terrible I am. I didn't get it at first.
So, New Avengers, and I can't really talk about it because the whole thing is the aftermath of Avengers vs. X-Men, so I'm not going to spoil anything for you. But it's all about chapters ending and new beginnings and, all that stuff. Probably going to be worth money in the future.
You heard it here first.
Invest in your future. Next, Phantom Stranger number 1, New 52. Phantom Stranger is a really weird character. He's like a cursed man who ends up betraying every human soul that he takes an interest in. So everything that intrigues him, he ends up becoming the catalyst for like their demise. But he thinks it's all to serve a greater good for some sort of higher power. Little weird, not so bad. And finally, Evil Ernie number 1. Evil Ernie number 1 is extremely weird, very dark, very weird. Kind of reminded me a lot of Crossed, if you're into the most screwed up comics possible. Pretty much just lots of murder and evil possessions, satanic stuff, and mass murder and executions, and it's pretty weird, and I approve of it.
Okay, so we are never lacking X-Men, and right now something that's semi-new is the first X-Men, and right now we're on number 3. This is a story that is Wolverine and Sabretooth are... This is before everyone knows about mutants, and so Wolverine and Sabretooth are trying to help everybody cope with being mutants, and Xavier's having nothing to do with it. He is like, I want to be normal, wah, 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 which is kind of exciting little turn on that, and you get to see a soft side of Sabretooth, so I kind of like that, because he's usually just a big dumb hard ass, so it's really good. I'm digging it.
It's adorable.
It's actually, you know, Sabretooth gets a little romantic. It's kind of adorable. You want me to go again?
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
Keep going.
Alright, fanboys versus zombies. I was so excited when I first saw this on the shelf. We're already at number 7. This title, you know, fanboys, I'm a fangirl, whatever, but it's hilarious. This is you're at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, and then zombie apocalypse happens. It's like you've talked about it a million times as you grew up. You know what your route is, you know what the plan is, and then it's really fun to have this book. I feel like I should have wrote this book. This should be my book, but anyway, they're doing a great job with it. I actually even met the artist, Jerry Gaylord, a.k.a. The Franchise. He drew me as a zombie. See? It's cool. Anyway, so it's totally rad. We're on 7 now. Still in San Diego. I hope it continues being in San Diego, because that's a really fun part for me. And I talked to them at Comic-Con, and I was like, make a movie. And maybe they will, and then we could all be in it. Be sick. Alright, speaking of sweet comic conventions, there is a new Comic Fest in San Diego. This is coming up. This is this month. San Diego Comic Fest. It's an old school Comic-Con, and it's happening October 19th to the 21st. You can get your passes at sandiegocomicfest.org/registration. I'm going. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope to see you there.
Alright, and finally for my Why Don't You Love This Book Yet, this week I'm doing Chew. Chew is super awesome. Chew is the story of Tony Chew, agent of the FDA. He's a sebopath, meaning that he gets psychic projections from whatever he eats. If he eats an apple, he sees the orchard where it grew and the pesticides that were used on it and the transport that got it into his hands. If he eats a cheeseburger, he just sees cows getting slaughtered. And if he eats a dead body, he sees all the murder details. And his boss hates him, so he eats a lot of dead bodies. And poop.
He eats poop, too?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But it's actually a super fun story. The art is some of my favorite out there. It won Best New Book when it came out, Eisner. It also won Best New Artist. And it's absolutely a ton of fun. I recommend it very much.
If you have issue number 1, go look that up on the internet, because it's worth a pretty coin right now.
Right. And I think that's all.
Yes.
Do you want to take us out?
Yeah, so thanks for watching the Galactic Update. Come into Galactic Comics for all your new comics this week. Start a subscription, and come and talk to John and I about what's up and what's cool.
Thanks, guys.